I was sitting in a hospital room. My chest hurt. My head was spinning, and the doctor was asking me questions. In English, I opened my mouth, but no words came out.
Do you feel afraid when you have to speak English in a serious situation? Maybe you know the words, but when the moment comes, your mind becomes empty. In this story, you will listen to a real-life situation where speaking English is not optional. It is necessary. By the end of this story, you will feel more confident speaking English, even when you are nervous or afraid. Now, let's begin.
The pain started in the early morning. At first, I ignored it. It was a small pain in my chest, like pressure. I told myself, it's nothing. Maybe I slept badly. I drank some water. I walked around the room, but the pain did not go away. Instead, it became stronger. My heart was beating fast. My hands felt cold. I sat down and tried to breathe slowly. I was alone in a foreign country. No family, no close friends. And worst of all, English was not my first language. After 1 hour, I knew something was wrong. I took my phone and searched for the nearest hospital. My hands were shaking as I called a taxi. When I arrived at the hospital, everything felt strange. Bright lights, people walking fast, voices speaking English everywhere. At the reception desk, a woman looked at me and asked, "What seems to be the problem?" My mouth opened, but my brain stopped working. Pain," I said quietly, touching my chest. She looked confused. "Chest pain?" she asked. I nodded quickly. She asked more questions. "How long has it been hurting? Do you feel dizzy? Are you taking any medicine?" Her words felt too fast. Too many. Too difficult. I answered with broken English. "Yes. 1 hour. No medicine. Little dizzy." She typed something into the computer and gave me a form. "Please fill this out and wait there," she said. I sat down in the waiting area. People around me looked calm, but inside, I felt scared. What if this is serious? What if I can't explain my pain? I tried to remember English words. Pain, sharp, pressure, left side, breathing. I repeated them quietly to myself. Soon, a nurse called my name. "Please follow me." My heart beat faster. I stood up and walked into the examination room. And then, the doctor entered. The doctor was tall and calm. He smiled and said, "Hello. How are you feeling today?" I wanted to say, "Not good," but instead, I said, "Bad. I feel bad." He nodded kindly and sat down. "Can you tell me where the pain is?" I touched my chest again. "Here," I said. "Is it sharp or dull?" he asked. I froze. Sharp? Dull? I knew these words before, but my mind was empty. "I don't know," I whispered. "That's okay," he said gently. "Does it hurt when you breathe?" "Yes," I answered quickly. "Yes." "When breathe?" He asked more questions. "When did it start? Does the pain move to your arm? Do you feel nauseous?" Each question felt like a test. Sometimes I understood. Sometimes I didn't. I felt embarrassed. I wanted to explain everything clearly, but my English felt broken. At one point I said, "My heart feels heavy." The doctor looked serious. "Heavy?" he asked. "Like pressure?" "Yes. Pressure," I said, relieved. That one word helped so much. He continued asking slowly now. He spoke more clearly, more patiently. I began to relax. I used simple sentences. "Pain start morning. Breathing make worse. I feel scared." He listened carefully. "You did the right thing coming here," he said. Those words made me feel safe. The nurse came back and checked my blood pressure. Then they took me for a quick test. While waiting, I thought about something important. I didn't need perfect English. I only needed clear English. Simple words, simple sentences, and courage. After some time, the doctor returned. I saw him walking toward me through the glass door. My heart started beating faster again, even before he spoke. He sat across from me calmly and smiled. Not a big smile, just a gentle one. That small smile already made me feel a little safer. "Good news," he said. "It's not serious." At that moment, I felt something heavy fall off my shoulders. I didn't even realize how tense my body was until it suddenly relaxed. My hands stopped shaking. I took a deep breath. A real one, without fear. The doctor explained slowly. He said the pain was caused by stress and muscle tension. Too much worry, too much pressure. Not my heart. Not something dangerous. As he spoke, I listened carefully. This time, I understood more of his words. Maybe it was because I was calmer now, or maybe because fear was slowly leaving my body. He used simple language. He pointed to his chest and shoulders. He showed how stress can tighten muscles. I nodded again and again. Everything started to make sense. I felt a little embarrassed too. All that fear, and it wasn't serious. But I reminded myself that fear feels real when you are inside it. "You should rest," he said. "Drink more water, and try to relax." I nodded. I wanted to say more, but I wasn't sure how. Then he asked a question that surprised me. "Do you have any questions?" For a moment, I wanted to say no. I wanted to escape the room and go home. But then I remembered how helpless I had felt earlier, unable to explain my pain. This was my chance. A small chance, but an important one. "Yes," I said slowly. How can I explain pain better in English?" The doctor smiled again, this time warmer. "That's a very good question," he said. He leaned forward slightly and started teaching me simple phrases, not medical words, just easy, useful sentences. "It hurts here. It feels like pressure. It gets worse when I breathe. It comes and goes." I repeated each sentence softly. My voice was quiet, but it didn't shake. He listened patiently. Sometimes he corrected my pronunciation, gently, kindly. No judgment, no rush. I realized something strange in that moment. I was learning English in a hospital room, a place where I had felt powerless just an hour ago. Now, I felt focused, present, alive. Before I left, the doctor said something I will never forget. "Don't be afraid to speak," he said. "Your words don't have to be perfect. They just have to be honest." I thanked him, truly, not just as a patient, but as a learner. As I walked out of the hospital, the air felt lighter. My body felt better, but my heart felt stronger than before. That day changed something inside me, not because of the pain, but because of what I learned. I understood that fear makes English disappear. Fear steals words from your mind, but courage brings them back slowly, one sentence at a time. Later that week, I practiced those simple sentences again and again. I stood in front of the mirror and spoke to myself. I practiced while walking down the street. I practiced before sleeping, whispering the words quietly in the dark. I didn't try to sound perfect. I didn't try to sound smart. I tried to sound clear. 1 week later, I went back for a follow-up visit. This time, I was nervous, but ready. My heart beat fast, but my mind stayed calm. When the doctor entered the room, I didn't look at the floor. I looked at him. "How are you feeling now?" he asked. I smiled and said, "I feel much better. The pain is gone." The words came out naturally, slowly, simply, confidently. The doctor nodded approvingly. He understood me completely, and that felt powerful. I wasn't afraid anymore. Not of English, not of speaking. I realized something important then. English is not about big words or perfect grammar. It's about using the words you already have. It's about being brave enough to try. That hospital visit taught me more than health. It taught me confidence. And I knew one thing for sure. If I could speak English in a hospital, in my most fearful moment, I could speak it anywhere.
If you are afraid to speak English in serious situations, remember this story. You don't need perfect English. You need brave English. Listen again. Repeat the sentences. Speak out loud. And step by step, you will speak without fear. Thank you for listening. See you in the next story.